Thank you, Laura. I appreciate that excellent introduction. Can everyone see the slide entitled Vocal Variety? Thank you. Vocal variety. What is it? Why do you care? How do you do it? What it is purposeful changes in the sounds you make in your speaking. Why do you care? I'll tell you why. We all have Zoom fatigue. Even before we were stuck on computers staring at cameras, keeping your audience awake in some subjects can be a challenge. If you speak in a monotone, you will bore your audience. A bored audience will ignore you. If they can't ignore you because you're their boss, you will demotivate them. There's a second reason for using vocal variety that relates to the communications pie chart archetype. What you say is much smaller in communications than how you say it. Now, this is an archetype because some people say it's a 70-40 ratio and some people will say it's a 10-90 ratio. But the key point is how you say something communicates even more than the plain words. Vocal variety engages the audience, informs the audience, and that motivates the audience. How do we do it? 4 basic techniques. The pause, pacing, pitch, and volume. You were hoping for a 4th P now, weren't you? I'll give it to you. Planning. The pause is the most important vocal variety technique. The reason is simple. I have been practicing this speech. I said it 10 times, 20 times. When we say our speeches, we know what we're saying, so we can say it as fast as possible because we do not have to stop and understand it. Did you understand that? We have to give the audience time to absorb our words. They will appreciate it. Pacing is a little more technical. The first thing to remember, this is not a competition. We are not trying to outrun our audience. Most of us speak too fast. Face it, we're all a little nervous when we talk, so we naturally speed up a little bit. Going slow is a change that gives emphasis to our words. You might talk a little bit at one pace, then slow down for the part you want people to remember. And even if it's not especially memorable, the audience just likes a change of pace now and then. Let's do an exercise. Everybody together, we're all muted, but say this with a monotone. Fight payment fraud and make accurate decisions pre, post, and during authorization. Now wake up. Let's say it with pauses and a varying pace. Fight payment fraud and make accurate risk decisions post, pre, and during authorization. Pitch, our third technique, is nothing more or less than using your full range of musical sounds. Everyone has at least 10 notes and usually more. We have what they call an upper register, which is a little bit higher in our throat, tends to be a little faster. It's what we use habitually when we're excited or maybe stressed. We also have a lower register that we use when we're calm. It connotes being powerful. If you can master both registers, your audience will appreciate it. Then there's inflection. Inflection is changing your pitches. Going on a rising inflection is going low to high. You can go high to low. Let's practice. Read the yellow words with a falling inflection. What works for you? 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 These are the same words, but they give a little different meaning strictly because of the pitch. Volume. Volume is the fourth of the key techniques and the most important point to remember. Head banging is not emphasis. We've all been at or avoided the heavy metal concert. After the first 10 minutes is wonderful, but nothing especially stands out, even if you turn it up to 11. It's the change in volume that is emphasis. If you change your volume to be louder, that's an emphasis you want the whole crowd to hear. If you change your emphasis to be softer, that's a lot more personal. Let's do a volume exercise. Say the word in Yeller with a different volume. I work at Myco. I work at Myco. I work at Myco. I work at Myco. Finally, plan. Speeches have scripts because they're performances. Typically in Toastmasters, we focus on the words, but we've just been working through the idea that things other than the bare words are communication. It is okay to mark your script. Pause here, speak strongly there, whatever. So let's practice going from a monotone to a diagram script. Let's all together say, when people ask what you do, I say, we combat transaction fraud. We expedite authorization and reduce customer friction at the point of transaction. Now wake up. Let's all say it with the appropriate emphasis. When people ask, what do you do? I say, we combat transaction fraud. We expedite authorizations and reduce customer friction at the point of transaction. For reference, I will put in chat your speaking voice, a PDF, which is free and available to all Toastmasters, full of very useful vocal exercises. Remember, for vocal variety, use pause, pace, pitch, and volume, and this will be your happy result. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Randy. That was a fabulous presentation with so much useful information.